and welcome to Online Business Uncovered. This is episode 174, and in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the power of storytelling in business and why your story could be the greatest marketing asset that you have. So let's jump right in and let's get started. Welcome to Online Business Uncovered, the show that lifts the lid on what it really takes to turn your brilliance into digital products, passive income, and time freedom. I am your host, Karen, an online business strategist, course creation expert, and your go-to for building a business that works for you and not the other way around. If you are an ambitious entrepreneur feeling overwhelmed, burnt out, or maybe you're just ready for a smarter, more sustainable way to grow, then you're in the right place. Because each week I'll be bringing you inspiring conversations, practical strategies, and step-by-step guidance to help you create scalable, repeatable digital products that sell even while you sleep. So if you're ready to stop trading your time for money, reclaim your time, and finally build a business that gives you the freedom that you deserve, hit subscribe and tune in every Thursday. Let's uncover what's truly possible for you, starting now. Hello and welcome to Online Business Uncovered. This is the show that helps you turn your expertise into digital products, passive income, and most importantly, time freedom. I am your host, Karen, and I really do appreciate you hitting the play button to listen to today's episode. Now, today I am joined by another fantastic expert who will be speaking at this year's Online Business Growth Summit on the 6th to the 8th of October. Now, when people think about growing an online business, what they often do is focus on things like social media, email marketing, and of course, sales strategies. But there's one skill that has the power to transform all of those, and that is storytelling. The stories that you tell will shape how people see you, whether they trust you, and ultimately whether they choose to buy from you. Yet for so many entrepreneurs, sharing their story feels uncomfortable because they worry about saying too much, not saying enough, or simply not knowing which parts of their journey actually matter. So in today's episode, I am joined by Bettina, who is an experienced story coach, educator, and a former television producer who helps change makers and business owners use storytelling to create deeper connections and greater impact. So whether you're creating content, you're selling digital products, you're building your personal brand online, or simply trying to explain what makes your business different, this conversation is going to completely change the way you see storytelling. So grab a cuppa, let's get comfortable and dive in to this week's episode. Hello and welcome to another episode of Online Business Uncovered. I am your host, Karen, and today I am joined by another incredible expert who will be speaking at this year's Online Business Growth Summit. Now, throughout this special series, I'm chatting with our speakers to give you a sneak peek into the knowledge that they're going to be sharing, and more importantly, to help you discover practical ways to build a business that gives you more income, more freedom, and less reliance on selling your time. Now, today, I would like to introduce Bettina, who is a story coach and educator. I'm really excited about this interview. So it's lovely to speak to you today. Do you want to just start by introducing yourself and let the listeners know who you are and what you do?
Sure. Yeah. First of all, thanks for having me, Karen. I'm really pleased that I can be here now, logging in from Berlin, living in Melbourne, but today I'm in Berlin. So thanks again for having me. Look, what did I do? Where am I coming from? Way back in the last millennium, I studied theater and communication science at uni in Munich. and was about to become a theater director, but then I had to go for moving images. So I went to New York Film School, and then I started to work for a broadcaster. And ever since, I produced more than 500 and I think 550 hours of German TV.
Wow.
So that was massive. But there's another part in my heart besides the story, is also education. And then I developed a concept to found an TV academy where I was teaching filmmaking and storytelling here in Berlin. And then personal life got me over to live in Australia back in 2012. And I was teaching film and television at several universities, and still do actually, and Germany, Europe also, and Australia. Yeah, that's my background. And today I thought I need to put it all together. I mean, I don't need to, but I wanted to put it all together. And I founded my company. It's called Digital Dolphins, Storytelling for Impact. That's close to my heart. I want to make an impact with the stories I teach. And yeah, so that's where I am at the moment.
Wow, you are truly international, aren't you, with where you are based? And I love the fact that you are in Australia, but you're in Berlin at the moment. So very different sort of environments and cultures. So exciting, especially great for what you do as well. With the storytelling and picking up with different cultures in the way you live and that.
Yeah, look, what I want to add to that is at some point you ask yourself, what are you doing with your life? Yeah,
Mm.
and then I thought, okay, I would combine my skills and help change makers. I thought my target audience are change makers, so I went to two massive conferences back in Melbourne, which one was Women Deliver, where 6,200 women came together and discussed the change for the future. I'm still getting goosebumps. And I was part of the media team there. And talking about stories, I thought, okay, how do I approach these women, ask them about their vision and what they want to do in the world? And I came up with the idea to start the conversation with asking them about the stories of their earrings. So they were telling me the stories of their earrings, and interweaving into that their mission and vision and where they got them and why they're wearing them and their best friend, and it was amazing. So also, already that just showed me how you can connect with the other human being through storytelling.
I think it's really interesting with storytelling, especially in business as well, because it's one of the most powerful ways, I think, to get across your message. And I think all entrepreneurs or business owners that start a business have a story to tell. But it might just be that they don't know how to tell it. But I often think that's the thing that pulls people in. It's not a fancy strap line. It's not a highly creative logo or anything like that. It literally comes down to the stories that they tell, because that, of course, builds them know, like, and trust with their audience.
That's absolutely right. So, I was talking about audience because I was working for TV, and your measure is the rating. So, do you reach your audience or not? And I'm so trained to see the audience first, and that's also what my story coaching is about. So, to whom do I want to tell the story, and why would they listen? Yeah, why?
Yeah.
And so I always say in a bit, before you improve your story, improve your ability to see the person listening. Yeah. So I would encourage everybody to spend, for example, as an exercise, if I may say so,
Yeah.
have an exercise to sit in a coffee shop and just simply observe people, and then look at the person next on the table and become curious about them. Curiosity is really, really important. So what might their day look like? What could they worry about? What are they happy about? What are they hoping for? Yeah. And what would make them stop and listen and feel understood. So if you do that exercise and then you go back to your clients, and do the same. Yeah, choose one client or make a persona in your audience, and ask yourself, so what's happening in their world, or what do they need? What do they need from you? And why you? Yeah, and how can I speak in a way that meets them where they are? And yeah, and then you connect with your inner story truth. And the moment you connect with your inner story truth and know the words they would use, and the environment and they are in, then you can connect. It's like, the bridge, which, from both shores, one shore and the other shore, in the middle they meet, and you have to make sure the bridge is not, not meeting.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's great advice, because I think that's something that a lot of business owners probably struggle with, is how to really define their audience, and even to really kind of get clear on their niche as well. Because often people that start businesses are not marketers. It's a learnt skill that takes time, doesn't it? And still trying to kind of really get clear on exactly who they're trying to target. But I like what you said, because it is about putting yourself in the shoes of your ideal person, so that you can meet them where they're at, that, with that bridge analogy and that. So I think that's great advice. Um,
Yeah, and you can actually train that. Yeah, sorry about that. I just want to switch off the phone. You can train that, this curiosity and this. It's in the end, it's also about empathy, and that's what they say. What you do, what you just mentioned. Put yourself in the shoes of your audience. It's not always easy, because you have so much. You have a super idea, you have a vision, you have a mission. You know what you want to get out, and then you're so overwhelmed, and you have to get it out, but the other people don't stop. They just keep walk away, or or something like that, and you don't get your idea across. So another exercise would be, for example, you sit at your desk, and then you write on a piece of paper the name, give your name, you give your audience a name, the persona, and put it on the other side, and then you get up, go around, and sit on that chair, and have this, sit on that piece of paper, and talk as that audience persona. And I did this at uni with the students, and they were just fascinated, because some other words came out, and yeah, right, yeah, that's what we need to do. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Put yourself in their shoes, so that you can really understand
Mm,
exactly who they are.
mm.
And it's that relatability, isn't it? I think that's what people are looking for when they're, especially with digital entrepreneurs who are selling online. It isn't about what they're necessarily selling. Sometimes it is about the who that person is, and whether there's a trust there, and often that can be built through that sort of storytelling, sharing stories online that your ideal person can resonate with.
Yeah, and there's a fine line between. Oh, let me go. So we do a slate, another take two. There's a there. You have these buzzwords, so authenticity and vulnerability. And when you're authentic, then you have to also dare to connect with your inner story truth, and say, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to share something about myself and my life. And the second thing is authenticity and vulnerability, and then making sure you're not crossing a line where you're too open. And that's what I always say. That's where my work comes in, actually. Yeah, that's what I do. I listen to people, and then decide. Okay, do you really want to go? Tell about your diagnosis and why you had to go to hospital. Do you really want to share that? Or maybe let's find something else where you were, hit with a turning point in your life. Yeah. So something which opens yourself, so that you you open your arms and your heart, and then the audience can do the same. And then the connection can start. Yeah. But it's a fine line sometimes. And that's when when my clients become insecure. and then I help them to get, the right tone to find the connection. Then, yeah,
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think we're in the online world. I think there's a kind of myth that it's all about just sell, sell, sell. And because we see these things online, don't we? We see Facebook ads and we see a lot of overinflated promises and things like that, where people are just sort of selling the products that they obviously want to make money from. But you touch upon the word connection, and I think in business, I think that's it's at the very heart of anything that we do, because ultimately we're dealing with people. It
exactly.
doesn't matter what you do, what you sell, whether you're a service provider, a digital entrepreneur, it really doesn't matter. At the heart of what anybody does, it's about building that connection. And it's like you sort of say, that storytelling component is the thing that can really sort of kind of connect people on a level that is deeper than just buy my stuff. And I guess that's where you're growing your fans, if you like, online or
And
offline,
trust.
wherever you may be. Yeah,
Yeah, and you build the trust, as you said before. You build the trust. Okay, you're safe with me. If you can, sharing a story, one or two or different ones, and then the other person feels okay. Look, they understand me, and I can trust these people, and now I buy because I know my time is valued, my money is good there. I like to give my money to that person, but that's it's not the it's not the, how can I say, it's not the the on the marketplace at 1 p.m. when it closes at 1 p.m. Last tomato, $5, last tomato. It's not that. Yeah.
yeah,
It's a
yeah,
bit, it's a bit more subtle, but that's also the beauty of it. The beauty of it. Nevertheless, it goes both ways. I have to connect with my story truth,
yeah,
and I connect with the story truth of my client. And then the biggest question we all I think ask ourselves: how can we help and how can we serve? Yeah.
yeah,
And then it comes back, and then you say, okay, okay, I hear you where you're at, and you know what, I have been there, and this is my story, and I listen to yours. And I don't know if you heard about that. My coach, or maybe our coach, James Wedmore, told us about the double hero's journey, which is, of course, right on my alleyway, because the hero's journey is one of the basics of storytelling. When
yeah,
you leave your home, you get a call, you leave your home, you have obstacles, you have enemies, and then you win and come back a little bit wiser. That's the short version. But the double heroes journey is when we actually, as coaches or as consultants, help our clients to walk that path because we have been there. Yeah.
yeah,
And we have experienced that journey, and had these stories. And if we take the distance and see that this is all actually elements of storytelling, the villain, the good guy, the princess, the prince, and then all the obstacles, the nice castle in the back, and then when you come closer, it's all maybe just not so good as it looks like. So there are all these elements also in life, and that helps sometimes when you have a story to have a little bit of a distance to your own life and understand, oh, okay, it's, if I see myself on a stage and I know these are all my actors, I can actually cancel their contract and hire a new one.
I think it's really important, like the hero story that you touch upon. I mean, with our own stories, we often arrive at the place we are because of everything that sort of happened previously. And sometimes we don't realize that the reason why we do what we do is because of things that are played out. And we become the expert in what we do because of these things. And I always, because obviously where I sort of teach other entrepreneurs how to create courses and scalable offers and that in their businesses, they have to kind of step into the identity of an expert. And that can often feel uncomfortable because they them themselves may not feel an expert at what they do enough to create the thing that's going to teach somebody else. But we all end up being experts through experiences, and those experiences often come with stories attached. That is what is so powerful about it. And even if you're somebody that doesn't feel like you're an expert, but you're gaining results in an area that somebody else is not achieving results in, you are by definition an expert. And that's often because you've gone through a whole load of stuff in order to get to where you are. And that has that story attached to those results. And that's where I feel like that's when you get people, is when you're able to share that and draw people in, because you are walking their walk as well, and you're able to kind of really lead them to where they want to go because of your own story.
That's exactly right. So one of the that's beautiful. You filled that beautifully. The double hero's journey. It's just
Mm.
you really took your torch, and there's always all light now in all the corners. That's beautiful. The when you walk that journey, and then you want to be of service and share that, and that builds the trust. It's one of the things we do, and I'm sure you know that it's working on your origin story. So origin story is the one story which got you where you are. Yeah, and really saying, okay, where's the turning point? So in storytelling, we always look for turning points. Where was your biggest turning point? For me, for example, I always say that, it was when Big Brother, the shows like Big Brother came on,
Yeah.
because this voyeurism that was just too much for me. I was working at that time, RTL, Endemol, all these big, companies somehow. And I don't know how I ended up in the studio of Big Brother, where you really could see the camera alleyway with little holes in between, where you could just watch,
Yeah.
that people wouldn't see the camera, and you could just watch and see that. And this kind of voyeurism, I just couldn't work for TV anymore. I just couldn't. I thought it was just too much. It was just too
Yeah.
private. And of course, with the daily soap wasn't maybe the art documentary for Arte, or any big documentary broadcaster, but it was at least a true story which got people entertained. But Big Brother I couldn't work for. I left TV then. I went to education, to make something better, make something up for, teach digital literacy, and also to understand the difference between a true story and fake news. We
Yeah.
created a course like that for Macquarie Union in Sydney. Yeah.
Wow, okay. It's so interesting. It's really interesting with Big Brother, because when Big Brother came out,
Yeah.
it was so popular. There was a lot of, that the whole concept, it was new, it was fresh, and it really did take off here in Britain, it really did take off. But then there's a line that gets crossed, and it becomes less about the story of people and more about how can we push boundaries. And then I think that then changes the narrative of the program and stuff, and whatnot. But yeah, I think, like, sort of say, true storytelling goes deeper than just, the fake stuff doesn't really, there's no depth to it. There's nothing really to pull you in. It's just being
Yeah.
nosy, I guess, at other people's lives. But
Exactly.
yeah,
But that's what I said before. So a little bit of curiosity, a lot of curiosity of other people, and of course for yourself. Why am I doing what I'm doing? And have I ever thought about that? And what is my origin story? And how can I match my origin story with the origin story of my client? Yeah. Where
yeah,
do they meet? And then connect and have a coffee over that, and find out. And the most important thing, I also studied Moliere, like comedy. Yeah. I mean, you have to have a laugh. A playfulness, a little bit of fun, yeah,
yeah,
or humor. It can be so funny, and the British humor is, very well known
yeah,
for that. The most
yeah.
amazing movies out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought I might, if that's okay with you, share a bit about what I would do at the summit. Yeah.
Yes, of course. I would love to know your session,
Yeah. It's,
because I know your session is going to be so incredibly valuable, especially you touching on the hero story and what that's about, and because I feel like we all need to really understand what that looks like and what how that kind of plays out in our own business and with our own audience and that. So yes, please go ahead.
yeah.
Do
So
share your session.
First of all, Karen, because one of my hobbies actually is to take frameworks and put them into Claude or ChatGPT and build interactive training tools. Yeah. So first of all, I'm going to bring a tool which I give for free to your audience, which is called Origin Story Builder. So people
Oh,
can take this home and then build their story and work on that, how often they want. So I bring that with you because then, with me, sorry, for you, for everybody. So then they can do a little bit of training. Yeah. Then secondly, I developed a framework and that is called, funny enough, story. So STORY. And the first one is S for C. So see the person who are truly speaking to you. And for example, you answer then question like, who is this really for? And what are they trying to do, become, or solve right now? And what tension are they living with? What do they long for? Even quietly, and what words and phrases would they use to describe that. So see the other person, like we said before. So that's S. Then T for tell the story only you can tell. So, and then you would ask questions something like, why does this work matter to you, or whatever you do at the moment? Personally, why? Yeah. What the turning points in the insights, all of the lived experiences which sit underneath. So we are going always, one step deeper. That's a little bit like going down the rabbit hole.
yeah.
And you ask the question, what do you see, what others often miss? And that's really important. If you find out what you see, what others often miss, then you can guide your client with that information. Yeah, that's really important. And then we have O for open. So open the hearts before you ask for the minds. Open the hearts of the people. Do the connection. Ask questions. What do you want people to feel after they listen to your story, and what honest human moment could you share that creates that feeling? Very important. So I find out what they want to feel, and then I go back inside myself and see, okay, at this very moment in my life, I felt like that, and that's the moment I share. And then with opens also what complexity needs to soften. So remaining meaning can land. And we all have so much. It's like in our hearts and minds, and on our phones and in our computers. But if we start to become like yes, where's the word? Builder, not a builder. Where how who's Sorry, Karen, what's the name of the person who was building a statue, having a block of
Oh, a
marble?
sculptor. A
Ah,
sculptor.
so, all right, we all become a sculptor and take things away. But we have
Lovely.
to dare to do that. And I basically always help with that. And then R for reveal. So reveal your message with clarity and power. Yeah, which words feel most aligned with your voice? So you ask us a few more questions. And in the end, it's yield. So let your why for years let your story go out into the world and do real world change. So, and where would your story live, and what meaningful change would you make with the story? So this is a little workbook I developed, and I want to go through that with your with the people in the session, and then I would love to do. I hope there's enough time. I would love to do a hot seat. So then someone shares this, and I give, I help develop that a little bit deeper, and then everybody can witness how I would help to develop that deeper. So that's the session.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Honestly, I love this. I love the framework. It's very clear and it's very you've nailed the journey. And I think the attendees will get a huge amount of value from your session. Because I think sometimes I personally, and for many years I struggled with it. How much is too much? It's that line, isn't it? You know, you need to reveal some of what you've been through, but there's a fine line between not enough and too much. So how do you do it in a way that gets you the results that you're looking to achieve? And I think what you're going to be presenting is a framework that helps somebody get really clear on what their own story is and how it relates to their audience and how they can use that to develop that deeper level of connection. And I think it's going to be such a powerful session that people get a huge amount from. So yeah, it sounds amazing.
Thank you, Karen. I have one quote I quote myself, or I don't know where I did maybe. So you're not to share what to share. The fine line we talked about.
Yeah.
It's sharing from your. So let's say you have a wound like a soul wound, yeah, wound.
Wound, yeah,
Wound,
yeah,
yeah, thank you.
wound,
So,
yeah.
you have a soul wound, and then after a while, years or so, there's a scar. So you share from the scar and
Ah,
not from the wound.
oh, okay. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
And
Yeah, that
then
makes
because
sense.
then it can't hurt you back because and you're already moved on and you see the
Yeah,
scar, you are reminded of what happened, but you share it with a little bit of a distance. And I,
yeah,
I really like this imagery because it gives me an orientation, yeah,
yeah.
how I could craft my story. Anyway, there's so much to share.
Yeah, no, it sounds great. It's interesting you say that because often when we look back and we talk about something that's happened, like a key turning point, it's having that objectivity around it, and being able to see it from a perspective of, well, I'm here now because of it. And I think sometimes that can sort of just give a different angle to what you're talking about, rather than it like you say being so raw, so open, where you're sharing something that has so much emotion attached. It's almost being able to kind of talk about something from a place of that detachment, so you can take the lessons from what you've experienced and been through, because those lessons will be the thing that will connect with your audience, because that's what they'll be looking for as well.
That
um
That's what they are
yeah.
looking for, and then they connect with you. Then they have a platform where they can jump on from their boat. They have the platform of what you shared, and then they share their story and become your client. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. I know in my own business, as I do what I do more. So back in 2020, I pivoted into the online course space, and from there, I started sort of working with service providers, helping them sort of build online courses and scalable offers. The more I lent into my own story, my own journey, my own truth, really, it made it easier to kind of build my audience and connect. And for my birthday back in February, I did a 5-day email promotion. I have a small digital product that I was promoting, but I was talking about my journey into passive income, which is what my product supports with. And it was really interesting, the responses I got from just sharing my story. And I think that was probably the first time that I'd done it the way I'd done it, that I'd broken it down and I'd actually sort of explained why I now do what I do. And it was so interesting that the response that I got from my audience, and the conversations that then took place, and the things that they kind of reflected back at me, that obviously stood out for them. And it was at that point that I realized that it was the storytelling component that was what the powerful piece was. And then that led to conversions and the sales that then took place. But it was because I provided that context. I wasn't just buy this thing that I've created. It was this is who I am, this is what I do, this is why I do it, and this is why I'm here helping you to do what you need to do right now. And I think because of that, it made a real difference. So firsthand, I know that power that it brings. And so I think your session is going to be absolutely fantastic. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah,
Really
you just,
excited.
yeah, thank you, Karen. You just said it. It's the power of storytelling. It's one thing I always say, as you just mentioned, and also storytelling is what makes us human. I really
Yeah.
believe that. I really believe that. And yeah, and then, it's so beautiful what you just shared. I mean, it was just the proof. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, and I for a long, long time I struggled with allowing myself to be vulnerable.
mm,
And the fact that when you sort of said it's about the scar, I think because I was able to look back and be objective over why I moved into the work that I now do, I was able to kind of deliver it in a way that was obviously quite powerful for the people receiving it. But it wasn't the sales that I valued, it was the conversations that took place because it was other people saying, I completely understand how you felt because I feel that right now. And then
mm,
it's like, yes, that's what this is about.
mm.
It's that connection that we're looking for. The sales are just the nice icing on the cake at the end of the day when, you're looking to sort of generate that income, but it's that connection,
Mm.
I think. And I think as humans, we want to feel connected to other humans.
Yeah, we want to. We want
Yeah.
to. Sometimes we deny it, but we really want to, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Before we finish today's episode, I just have some quick questions for you. So what do you prefer, coffee or tea?
I prefer coffee. I live in Melbourne. Melbourne's the coffee capital of the world, so I need coffee.
Lovely, lovely. Yeah, like right back at you. I love my coffee. Um, what's one business book that you think every entrepreneur should read?
Yes, I have two, but definitely the first one is wouldn't maybe really describe it as a business book, but then again, maybe yes. It's called Crucial Conversations: Tools for Talking When Stakes Are High, from Carrie
Oh,
Patterson. And that book helped me to navigate difficult and non-difficult situations where I needed to have some tools for conversation. And one of the best advices in that book is when you come in a room and you have a meeting, then establish your mutual goal first. And ever since, I do that, mutual goal. And that book I can really highly recommend for any
yeah,
conversation. And that's what our business is about. We always have conversation
yeah.
with everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that sounds a great book. Yeah. What's one tool or app that you just couldn't run your business without?
Well, I have to admit, I think it's ChatGPT at the moment.
Gotta
I
love
don't
a bit of
know.
chat.
I don't know why I say it so shyly, like a little girl, but I really I use it as a creative partner. Yeah, Claude as well for coding, but GPT helps me to clarify some ideas. Sometimes it makes ideas more complex, which is not good. Yeah, definitely use Google Drive a lot, but I just have to say it eases my day. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love a bit of chat, so I'm with you there. What's the one best piece of business advice that you've ever received?
Yes, I quote James Wedmore here,
Yeah.
and that is what got you here won't get you there.
I love that quote.
Yeah,
He says it a lot and I
yeah,
love it. I
yeah.
just think because that is all about identity,
Yes,
isn't it?
and
And I think yeah, yeah, that's
yeah,
such a powerful I have that in my head a lot.
yeah. So whenever I do something, I say, okay, that's how I did it so far. Now I do something just a little, it's a little bit different. Yeah, and it's not easy because you fall back into
Yeah,
your patterns. But anyway, I wanted to share that. And the second one, by the way, also James, is the
yeah,
80-20 rule: 80 selling, 20 creating. And I'm
absolutely.
culprit of the other way around. That's for sure.
I can relate there.
Yeah.
In one sentence, what does building an online business mean to you?
Yeah, for me, on an online business, definitely. With me moving, Melbourne, Berlin, Italy, Sweden, whatever, building an online business means having the freedom to to do what I want to do, to serve people, help people wherever I am. Because I have family in Melbourne and family in Berlin. So for this online component of this business doesn't cut down my vision and mission, if you want. So to help people, and it enables also the traveling. So that's what I love about it.
Yeah, I love that because you have freedom to go wherever you want to go and do whatever you want to do, but you still get to do the thing you love.
Yes, sometimes you get up in the middle of it, but then
Oh, Bettina, thank you so much for today's episode. Honestly, I'm so excited about your session. If you've enjoyed this conversation, then you are going to love the Online Business Growth Summit because this is just a small taste of what is to come. Alongside today's guest, you'll hear from over 18 incredible experts covering everything from digital products, marketing, sales, visibility, audience growth, and so much more. And it's all designed to help you build income beyond selling your time. Now, you can register for free using the link in the show notes. And I can't wait to see you in the next episode of Online Business Uncovered. Thank you for joining me today. It's been an absolute pleasure, Bettina. Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. I really hope it's given you something to think about and perhaps inspired you to look at your business a little bit differently. Now, if you've enjoyed this episode, then I'd be grateful if you could share it with a friend or a fellow entrepreneur. It really helps more people discover the podcast, and you never know who might need to hear this message today. And if you're ready to start building a business that gives you more freedom, then I would love to invite you to join me at the Online Business Growth Summit. Now, this summit is taking place on the 6th to the 8th of October online. It's completely free to attend, and it's going to bring together over 18 expert speakers who will be sharing practical strategies to help you create a business that you love, a business that truly supports your lifestyle. You can register your free place today by visiting www.sellyourbrillianceonline.com. I will be back next week with another episode, but until then, have a wonderful week. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of Online Business Uncovered. If today's conversation has sparked an idea or gave you a dose of clarity, then please make sure to check out the show notes for all the links and resources mentioned. New episodes land every Thursday, so hit follow or subscribe to stay in the loop. And if you're loving the show, a quick rating or review goes a long way in helping more brilliant entrepreneurs like you find this show. Until next time, keep showing up, keep sharing your brilliance, and remember, freedom in business is possible, and it starts with taking the next right step.